Hello everyone and welcome back to the 137th episode of PandTha Talks.
Hello.
We tried recording this last week, something happened, I'm not getting into it, but we're re-recording it this week and this week will be going up. Because I've double, triple checked everything.
And that's what he says every single time.
I even ran a test before I got on with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much testing I did this week. But this week we have a bit of an interesting episode. As we said in the last episode, we were going to try and basically start hitting a main topic every episode. This one's will be AI's impact on gaming, which is ironic because we're already starting to see the impacts, which is going from the AI bubble looking like it's going to start popping with OpenAI, who own ChatGPT. They have lost a hell of a lot of income. They're in quite a bit of debt, and apparently, if they don't get another round of investor funding, they could be out of basically out of the industry by next year. Just complete bankruptcy, which I'm very happy about overall. I feel bad for the workers, but
It's a shame though, because we talked about a few bits that could help gaming in terms of AI, but it would be a case of it's gonna have to be used in the correct way, which that was never gonna happen. Let's be honest.
you know what? You've put me perfectly on to the first topic as well. So, the first topic for this week is actually of a company that doesn't know how to utilize AI correctly, but is hell bent on doing so. Ubisoft being that company. We all know Ubisoft is hell bent on AI just as much as EA was, or is, I guess you could say, but EA is currently going through its own fiascos. And Ubisoft have basically been told that they've got to do a reset effectively. And by doing this reset, they've decided, what was it? They've shut down some studios, they've cancelled 6 video games that were in production.
Jeez.
At the same time, their stock price has plummeted, what did you say, 33%?
35% or something like that.
35%. Just to show, by the way, this was the most satisfying graph I've ever seen, going from €6.64 per share all the way down, as of current, to €4.06 per share.
I believe they might have lost a bunch of investors due to, pretty past circumstances, and they're
Yeah.
also just their general decisions have not been helping them at all.
So, if you actually see here, Ubisoft cancelled games and closed down studios in a major reset. Publisher targets €200 million in cost cutting as delays, cancellations, and closures reshape its global development pipeline. That's how fucking messy this shit has got. So, this is their January PR draft. And we have this. I don't know why we have this, but we have this. I found it randomly. I find random things. I'm starting to realise this. So, Ubisoft announces a major organisational, operational, and portfolio reset to reclaim creative leadership and restore sustainable growth. How can you reclaim creative leadership when you've opened a secondary studio with, it's not Gaijin, it's Tencent. How's that make sense? New operating model centered around 5 specialized creative houses to support Ubisoft's strategic focus. Refocused portfolio with a meaningfully reworked roadmap leading to significantly revised financial year 26 financials. Hello?
Yeah, so mine has been really shit as expected, so I just cut out for the last 30 seconds.
It's okay. I'm just
It's
basically
been
reading through this.
Yeah, it's been happening a lot more, so don't expect too much from me this episode.
That's fine.
This week has been all.
Sounds it. Bit baffling as well. Acceleration of cost reduction initiatives to right size the new organization and improve structural efficiency. So, from the sounds of things, they're basically cut, and hope things work. Typical Ubisoft. Can't say anything new from them. Paris 2021 2026. Today, Ubisoft announced a major organizational operational portfolio reset to reclaim its creative leadership, regain agility, and drive a sharp rebound, renewing the group's trajectory towards sustainable growth and robust cash generation. You can't generate cash if your games don't fucking sell. It just doesn't work. A new operating model, a refocused portfolio with meaningfully revised 3-year roadmap, and the right sizing of the organization. So cut people down to the bare minimum and use AI to try and fix it. Once again, the reason Ubisoft is my target for this, regarding the bloody AI impact on gaming, this is the shit that's happened to them when they've tried to prioritize this over the people. Ironically, even so, they bring it up here. The new operating model will further empower the execution of a group strategy centered on open world adventures and GAS narrative experiences, supported by target investments, deeper specialization, and cutting edge technology, including accelerated investments behind player facing generative AI. Instead of making the correct decision, backing up and going, when did things start to fuck up badly? Okay, we were already making bad decisions before AI. But since AI, we are making even worse decisions. Everything we do is failing in some way, shape, or form. Should we go further into it or should we back up? Let's just walk in there blindfolded and handcuffed, because that sounds fun. Oh, I am so fucking disappointed. Actually, I can't be disappointed. I didn't fucking expect anything from them in the first place.
I don't think really anyone did. All
No,
they've done is just disappoint and let down over the last few years. And things that did do well got worse somehow. They just had to fuck with them and make them worse.
that's my question. How do you consistently fuck up? Everyone has that part in their brain that goes, I've made a mistake, I need to try and resolve this. Did Ubisoft's entire corporate structure just suddenly lose the ability to look at their issues and go, how do I fix this problem? What do we need to do? Get an entire team of troubleshooters just to help them? So I see what your problem is. You've got a really shit CEO, Gullymot. On the one hand, the AAA industry has become persistently more selective and competitive, with rising development costs and greater challenges in creating brands. Right, I'm just going to tackle this line by line of the CEO's statement here. Rising development costs, sure, but there are indie games that come out with substantially less development costs and better games. Greater challenges in creating brands. Who said you need to make a brand? There is nothing out there that says you need to make a consistent series of games. You don't. You can make different things every year. It is not a problem. There have been some
Yeah,
industries
like
that have been
sure
flourishing.
people sure people want to see a game's continuation if the previous game opens that option. But at the same time, you know, they've proved consistently now that not only can they not make a new game, they can't continue previous ones either anymore.
No.
So at this point, what do they do?
That's the question, isn't it? My other question, actually, before Skull and Bones, what was Ubisoft's last new IP?
Oh,
It was Phoenix Rising in December 2020. So it took them 4 years. They made one game there. It didn't do
I
very
would like,
well.
I would like, I would like to point out it says before Skull and Bones
Yeah,
in 24. It's
yeah.
not even worth mentioning.
I said before because I know they did Star Wars Outlaws, and I was trying to think before then what really dropped. Immortals Phoenix Rising. It was a game that dropped, but it was barely spoke about. It's not a bad game
Yeah,
either by
I didn't
itself.
even hear of it to be honest. This is my first time hearing it.
It was on Game Pass for a bit, so I picked it up, and that was about it. But a lot of people were very quiet on the matter. I don't think many people knew it existed.
Hmm.
But they pretty much they throw the occasional thing out like Phoenix Rising, Riders Republic. They just throw little shit like that out and go, "Oh yeah, here's a new game," and it's like, what we're asking is for you to make a game that's sure, you can use similar mechanics to what you've currently been using in your AAA and your major games, but just take it out of those universes. Make a brand new open world, Make a brand new set of mechanics or whatever. Just do it fresh. Step away and just see how much that can help. Because I think for Ubisoft teams, that could be one massive help. On the other hand, exceptional AAA games, when successful, have more financial potential than ever. Of course they do. Because people are willing to pay AAA money, especially when you dickheads just keep increasing AAA prices. I can tell this entire document's going to anger me. And I'm only...
I mean, it is Ubisoft, so are you surprised?
No, not in the slightest. I'm 3 sentences into his statement, and I'm already pissed off. In this context today, we are announcing a major reset to built to create the conditions to return to sustainable growth over time. What do you mean return to? When was the last time Ubisoft was in growth? Do you know how bad it is that I've typed this every week for the last, year? Yeah, when was the last time Ubisoft was in growth? Can, someone point it out to me? Because that seems to have been, 2015? Well, actually, no, over generous. 2012 up until 2018, they dropped again. Then 2019 to 2020, it jumped up, and that was due to COVID and everyone being indoors. And then it absolutely annihilated itself, and I don't think we've ever really seen it grow since. I mean, it did have a little spurt in 2023, and then died permanently. How do you go from over €100 per share, €102.95 per share, to €4.06 per share? How do you do that in 7 years?
Excuse me. I don't even think they know.
I genuinely don't think they do. But yeah, sustainable. Return to sustainable growth. Mate, you've never really fucking had it. None of what you are showing with your stocks shows that anything you've done has been sustainable. We are transforming Ubisoft's operating model to produce exceptional quality games. Well, you failed on step one. On the 2 core pillars of our strategy, open world games and GA. Good to know that comment absolutely just kills you. And GAS native experiences. What the fuck is GAS? Come on, what is this? Games as a service.
Oh, they love making it a service, man. With the amount of fucking microtransactions and shit.
I'm going to state this plainly as I possibly can.
There he goes.
There was a documentary done by the team Digital Extremes who made Warframe.
Mhm.
And they are probably one of 3 that I can name out there that are successful live service games. Now, during their documentary, they actually state that they had their people taking pay cuts every month, just so they could sustain themselves. They were literally unable to pay at times. It was very rough. And they said they had 2 options right near the end. It was a case of they can either go all in and hope and pray shit works, or they can walk away. They chose to go all in, and thankfully it worked out for them. But that's because of the time, the effort, and the care they put into their game. On the other hand, many others have followed the exact same route. They've gone all in, and they have walked away with nothing to show for it. Look at Anthem from EA, and many other games out there that have done very similar. And they all keep making this failed decision. But for some reason, games as a service and live service games are they're the Hail Marys for these people. Because that brings in the most money. Which makes sense to an extent, but it's never not going to work for everyone. You need a team dedicated who gives a damn to keep that shit going. Digital Extremes managed it because they care about the product they have. They care about the players, and they would do anything that they can. Even to this day, by the way, considering this game initially released according to Steam on the 25th of March 2013, even to this day, as they did back when they first began, the CEO of Digital Extremes, the director, I think it is, and the social media manager every week do a live stream with members of the community for them to ask questions answer questions, and basically give them information about what they plan to do, take feedback, and work on things. What other bloody company out there does that? I can't name one. And it saddens me, to be honest, because that's the sort of feedback that is required for games to develop well. And for live service games in particular, the fact that they still do this is insane. Have you ever heard of a company that does it well?
No,
As
I
much as
mean,
I'm sure you have.
I can name off plenty of them that don't even take regular feedback, let alone actually go out of their way to, you know, set up a whole thing to get feedback.
Yeah. Let's see if I've got it. Oh, sorry, it's the creative director. Oh, no, it is the CEO. As of January 2026, the CEO of Digital Extremes, Warframe, is Steve Sinclair, who frequently streams alongside creative director Rebecca Ford. They host periodic short and informal streams called Dev Shorts. And while they're in there, they also give back to community. So like they'll actually give them items in game. They'll give them the premium currency as well. They just give that shit away if you're asking questions, if they answer one of your questions, stuff like that. And it's never a free for all. And it's one of the many reasons I have so much respect. Dev Shorts is short form, often weekly, and monthly they do Dev Streams, which is in depth and in studio. They have those two that basically primarily handled it. Yeah, it's just insane, really. It's very impressive to me that even to this day they still do this. Here it is. In DevStream, featuring content teasers and Twitch drops, Umbra Former and Archon Shards both are very vital resources in game. Well, late game anyways. And Dev Shorts, regular, often 15-minute segments where they share quick news and sometimes with the CEO. But the dev stream you guarantee is going to be there. The fact that a CEO bloody turns up at all is rare. I have a lot of respect for it. When did it begin? That's my question. Because I'm pretty sure it started pretty early on. So it hosts the dev show, began late 2023 or early 2024, following the transition to CEO. So when he became CEO, they started that. Dev streams have existed since 2013, but the specific CEO stream or dev short series with Steve began after he took the CEO position. So yeah, they've been doing the dev streams though since it began, which is what, 13 years ago? And this is what I mean when I say companies like Ubisoft could not pull off what they did, but they want the same success. If you can't put in the same energy, the same effort, how do you ever expect to reach the same position? You just can't. At the centre of this transformation are our creative houses. Integrated business units now combining production and publishing, therefore unifying the gamer relationship. I feel like I'm going to get pissed off the more and more I read, and I'm not too sure this is a good thing. Each house is built around a clear genre and brand focus, with full responsibility and financial ownership led by dedicated leadership teams. So they're not creative houses at all, they're just teams. Development teams. You're just giving them a fancy fucking name. How is this man a CEO? I feel like he should be an intern. Oh, dear God. Okay, so, yeah. Ubisoft, in their hellbent power to just kick people out and make things majorly AI for some reason, and use it as a primary focus, even mentioning here the core services that provide a backbone to Ubisoft's ecosystem and acting as an enabler for the creative houses and the creative network. Where was it? Here it is. Technology and infrastructure, including game engines, online services, generative AI initiatives, and IT infrastructure. That doesn't just say everything we need to know. Ubisoft has discontinued 6 games that do not meet the new enhanced quality.
That's wild though that they've just decided, yeah, no, get them out of here.
Yeah.
Who needs to release new products anyway? It's not how you make money or anything, is it?
Oh no, on top of that, it's going to upset a lot of people when I say this bit. These include Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake, as well as 4 unannounced titles, including 3 new IPs and a mobile title.
A mobile type, Jesus, man.
But 3 new IPs that could have just given Ubisoft a brand new breath of fresh air. But no. In parallel, the group will allocate additional development time to 7 games.
So are they just not releasing anything? They're either cancelling or delaying everything?
I feel like that's going to be the case, yeah. I like how they're trying to claim that it's in order to ensure enhanced quality benchmarks are fully met and maximize long-term value creation. So I'm going to just go back to the old Cyberpunk situation. As much as I do love Cyberpunk 2077, we all admit at launch it was in a bad state. No one will argue otherwise. What I will say is, and that's with multiple delays for them to get it right, it was in that state. Just because you turn around and say you are delaying some games and giving them additional development time to make sure that things are better, does not mean they're going to be. Sometimes you need to actually get shit tested and start fixing. Or actually just, don't write horrific code. So, what is their actual goals? For 2025 to 2026, Ubisoft now expects, this'll be fun, net bookings of around 1.5 billion euros into approximately 330 million euros gross margin reduction versus guidance mainly reflecting changes to the current financial year 26 quarter release pipeline following the updated roadmap, decision to postpone negotiations on certain partnerships in the context of the group's new operating model. Wonder if that's going to be anything to do with the Tencent one.
Given the fact that they've either just cancelled or delayed every game in process, does that mean they're just hoping that the likes of Siege with microtransactions is just where all their money's going to come from? Or is it what?
Seemingly, but I suppose we'll see just up ahead. Non-IFRS EBIT of around negative 1 billion euros. Okay. Mainly reflecting both the impact of the updated financial year 26 net bookings assumptions described above and the transformation related decisions that led to a one-off accelerated depreciation of around 650 million euro. So what, you're trying to say that these are the reasons for your shares just dying? Sure. The discontinuation of 6 games, allocation of additional time to 7 titles with updated revenue expectations reflecting a persistently more selective market. Updated revenue expectations. Are you trying to claim that you are expecting that you're going to put the prices up again? Interesting. Free cash flow of between 400 million euro and 500 million euro. And yet you've let go of how many people? Non-IFRS debt, net debt of between 150 million euro and 250 million euro as of year-end financial year 26, with a cash and cash equivalent positions of between 1.25 billion euro and 1.35 billion euro versus prior guidance of around 1.5 billion euro. In addition, ahead of the publication of its quarter 3 financial year 25 to 26 net bookings scheduled for February 12th, Ubisoft is providing an indicative net bookings figure of approximately 330 million euro, primarily driven by an overperformance linked to partnerships and reflecting a robust back catalogue. Sure, whatever you say. The quarter notably saw the releases of Anno 117, Pax Romana, and the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora from the Ashes expansion that were praised by players and critics alike. Further details will be provided on February 12th. They were praised by players and critics alike, were they? Pax Romana, yep. Okay, how are you doing? Well, that lasted long, didn't it? Okay, how about Avatar? Oh, okay, Avatar's standing up. I personally didn't find it too fun, but I know some people did. Fair play to them. So, Anno is sat there with quite mixed reviews, though. So, yeah, we already knew about Ubisoft shutting down Halifax Studio. We covered that a few weeks ago, which is just messy as shit. But this is what upsets me. Ubisoft have been quite vocal about this shit, and they're trying to claim, yep, this definitely has a big place. It definitely does. And then we witness them falling further and further and further.
It's impressive the distance that they've fell and how
Yeah.
they just seem to keep managing to find ways to make things worse as well.
Well, that's the bit that kind of baffles me even now. Like, how are you still crumbling this much? Like, shouldn't you have realized, shit, this decision was a bad decision. We need to backtrack now. We'll listen to people. But no. On the other side of things, though, to do with AI in the gaming industry, you have people like Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney, which we covered a while back, absolutely fighting against people on AI. Which we had, what was it? Him arguing about Steam's bloody AI
AI
generative
tag.
tag, which I absolutely found hilarious because I don't know if you saw what he tried to compare it to, but he tried to compare it to, oh yeah, why don't we also have a tag saying what type of milk the developers use in their cereal? Excuse fucking me, one of them has an impact on the game, the other doesn't. Please tell me if you
Yeah.
can figure that out. Apparently, he's also arguing about banning Twitter over its ability to AI generate pornographic images of people of underage. Which, that seems like a very bad one to fight against. Personally, I don't think Twitter should be banned for it, I just think the AI should be completely removed. Because
Yep.
I'm going to be straight up, why the fuck does any social media app need AI? I just don't see the use.
Because content creators are apparently struggling more and more and now need AI to make posts for them because they don't know how to word.
I mean, neither do I, but even if I was having that issue, if I wanted to use AI, I'd go to an external AI and do it there. I mean, fuck's sake, in the top right corner here, I've got Copilot. I can just fucking get this to generate me a post. Actually, how horrific AI is. I'm using AI to generate a post about AI. AI is moving faster than our ability to understand it, and that should terrify us. Innovation without accountability isn't progress, it's a warning. We need transparency, ethics, and real safeguards before the tech outruns humanity. I don't completely disagree with that statement either. Fair play to Copilot. I like how it says at the top, Copilot is an AI and may make mistakes. Your conversations are personalised. Opt out. Good to know. It can make mistakes, even when it's insulting itself. I appreciate it. So, the future of AI in gaming. What's here and what's next? If I was to ask you, Will,
Oh
what do
god.
you know right now about what AI does in gaming?
Really just the devs using it themselves.
So, AI generation of like images and
Yeah,
garbled
and
code.
people being worried that it's going to be used just to make the game itself
Yeah,
in the whole.
well, there is actual things showing this. I don't know if I ever showed you this video. Let's go to YouTube. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I think it was either Nvidia or Unreal. I can't remember. Jesus Christ. This is how many, though, that are just using AI and they're able to create a game like that in one day, as an example.
Mm,
I don't agree with the amount that it's been used. I think it should be there to assist, not to replace. Don't get me wrong. If you used used AI to create a game, am I going to sit there and whinge if you, for example, turned around and just used it to assist you in, oh, I'm having an issue debugging this, or, oh, can you take a look at this asset I've created and see how it can be improved? Shit like that, I've got
this
no
is
problem with.
Yeah, this is what we would have first talked about when AI came around and was starting to be used a lot. Is if it was used in the correct way, it would be grand.
Yeah.
It could really help in just refining games, but that was never going to happen. We knew
Oh
that.
no, 100%. And I think that's what upsets me the most, honestly. But I'll tell you what, I could probably walk away now and have a game created by the end of the day utilizing AI. It'd be probably really piss poor, but I could
Oh
do
yeah.
it. I guarantee you. And that's why people are getting upset. There was a video at one of these one of them bloody live streams I usually watch showing game showcase and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they were showing off a feature. I think we covered it a couple of years ago. And basically, you asked it to create a game and it would generate the entire game for you to play with your friends. It wasn't great by any way, shape, or form, but it had all the base mechanics there done. And you were just like in a white room and that was it. To test it out.
Mm.
It's like, if I could use AI just to do that, that's half the game's problems resolved immediately. Then I just need a map. And if I just kept asking it to do things, I guarantee I could generate an entire fucking world. And
Probably.
I don't particularly like this. Back once upon a time, when you, for example, came across a town in a game, you'd check every nook and cranny. Because you knew it had
Yep.
been handcrafted. You knew...
Yep, there could be items anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. You knew the developers hid things. I mean, one of my favourite things about Stalker, the original one, the starting town that you always start in, which you actually go to in Stalker 2, there was always a bunch of houses on your left and right if you're looking towards the exit. The house on the furthest left had an upstairs. If you went upstairs, you could climb onto the roof in a way, and if you managed to go round the roof and through a window, there was a box. Destroy the box, and you could get some of the strongest armor to start off the game with. It was only one of the games, but it was hidden there. And someone found it, and all these years later, everyone's still using it. Because it's cool as hell. But
that's the thing I miss most about games and stuff like that, because you just don't see little bits like that where devs go out of their way to add stuff like that.
exactly. I mean, as you know from us talking last week when things went to hell, when we were discussing modding, when I've been playing Tale of Two Wastelands, the reason I think I adore Fallout 3 and New Vegas as much as I do is because both games are packed. The maps are covered in just little bits and details because it was all hand done. I mean, there's a town in Fallout 3 called Megaton. It's got a nuclear bomb in the center. Everyone knows
Yep.
it. But there's a photo. Here we go. So do you see the... See if I can pull this... see that guy there? The guard. It's impossible to get to him.
Wow.
If you use console commands to fly to him and speak to him, he will turn around and ask you how the hell you got up here. They added a voice line for that. There was no need for it. He could have just grunted or something dumb. But no, he straight up asked, how the fuck did you get up here? Rightly so. There's no reason for you to be there. But it's stuff like that that I absolutely adore about these games. And all the choices, all the hidden details. I mean, bloody hell, there's a guy that specialised in just... Well, actually, there's quite a few out there who go through Fallout games and they read the terminal files and books and notes, and they will tell you of stories of characters you've never met just from basic world building that's been left in a terminal and a note on a side. And they put an entire story together from this.
That's one thing I find crazy about what Bethesda do in their games. The amount of just random notes or books and stuff that you can find that have absolutely nothing to do with anything, but they're just there for you to read.
Oh, exactly. I mean, them YouTube channels I was just mentioning, I sat and watched them for like an entire year straight. I was obsessed with it at one point, and it was satisfying as hell. It really was. But I love that sort of shit. I really do. So, yeah, it genuinely depresses me that we even have to talk about this, though. It really does. AI-based advancements in games are accelerating. Game developers are using AI to make games more realistic, more complex, and more challenging. However, it's not all fun and games. AI also brings a few downsides, including impacts on the game development industry, piracy issues, and potentially great new increases in energy consumption. The latter is something that a lot of people are upset about. Personally, I just, I kind of go, yeah, whatever. Just ignore it, but people care about it quite a bit. Shall we play an AI game? So, non-player characters, NPCs, AI can help control computer-generated characters, including how they react to real players. We already know this. That's kind of a little different, though. The way that's used is it's just a program that's basically saying, if this happens, go here. If this happens, go here. It's not really true AI. AI can be used for it, though, and it's quite clever, and I am very interested to see how that works. If we had learning AI as NPCs in games, that'd be cool as fuck.
Yeah. There's a couple trying to do that, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. But I'd be so happy with that, honestly. Dynamic difficulty adjustment. Some games analyze whether a game is too easy or hard on you and make adjustments to keep you engaged. Left 4 Dead is a example. Employs an AI director to manage game pacing and difficulty. Once again, that is a program at its heart, not AI as they're claiming we're actually talking about. So that's the different things here. When we're talking about AI that we're having issues with, it's generative tools and neural net processing. These are the two that primarily do have some issues, but the neural net processing, let's be honest, a lot of people don't care because it's DLSS, stuff like that. There is other uses for that, so we'll get into that at some point. Procedural content generation. Games can use AI to create content such as new levels or maps on the fly. No Man's Sky, an action adventure game, uses AI to generate planets in their associated environments. Yeah, they basically just gave it a bunch of protocols and went, right, these are the ways that you can make a planet. Just make as many as possible. That's effectively what they
Sure,
did.
I'm sure that led to a whole load of issues.
Oh, it did. Thankfully, they've still been fixing it. I mean, you've seen their update logs.
At that point, they would have just been better going and creating them themselves.
Oh, probably. But I also think that would probably taken them forever and a day.
I mean, they're going to be doing the same thing, just now they're fixing what the AI did instead.
Oh no, they did this at development. Like this was
Jeez.
how the game began. They've basically fixed all that shit now. That's already long gone. Development tools. This is the one I've got like a major issue with. Game developers can use generative AI based tools to create scripts, images, and objects and to perform quality assurance testing. Don't mind the quality assurance testing, but get people to do it with it because it will miss shit. It doesn't do the shit that, for example, Will does in VR games, where he just decides, oh, look, I'm hanging on this and there's a massive gap there. Launch. I still remember
He's
that. Like,
definitely not referring to a specific time in a game that just kept soft locking us because I was indefinitely falling.
yeah, I definitely don't still hold a grudge on that matter.
I mean, the
Definitely
game wasn't
not.
great, so does
Oh,
it
no.
matter?
No, it was horrific. I've
Very
never
upset
been more
about that.
disappointed. You
Yeah.
know what? Actually, I am curious now that we're talking about it. What was it called now?
Sunshine, Arizona,
That's the one.
or Arizona Sunshine.
I thought I was typing it right. How is it that highly rated? Did we play like the wrong game? It's the only thing I can think. I genuinely can't see any other reason. Hotfix, patch, horde modes, meet a new buddy, patch.
I mean, if you so desire, when we finally get back on VR, we can try it.
I feel like we'd want to die. Wait a second. November 2024 is when the last patch came out. Okay. If that's the case, come on, just take me to the game on my library, bastard. I like how these games I don't even install. Oh, right, yeah. So, the patch definitely came out after we last played. Gives me a little more confidence, I suppose. Because we played after patch 1.2 and it was still horrific. Okay. Yeah, we'll give it another shot at some point in the future. Leveling up with AI. What's up?
What, patch 1.7 is it?
Yeah.
You were looking at? Are you sure that's a big patch?
I
I
haven't got a
see
clue. Oh,
1, 2, 3,
Jesus
4, 5,
Christ.
6, 7,
There's
7 items
nothing.
on the fixes and tweaks.
Right. How is it called patch 1.7 if
Yeah. Because
this
that's the
one
only
here is
thing after. Because the
1.2?
last time I have shown is last played is September 30th. So it was only 2 months later in November that they did that.
Yeah, see, I've got March, but we've got patch 1.2. No patch here.
Well, I played again in September apparently. I remember going through and trying to play a bit solo, and it just wasn't really fun.
Yeah. There's a bit of a patch there, I guess. No patch there. No patch there. No patch
I will be
there.
1 second, sorry.
No, it's alright. No patch there. None there. And then a patch there. That's absolutely a joke. I have nothing but the biggest amount of hatred for this. Jesus Christ. I'm happy Microsoft Word is enjoying Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. Good for it. Leveling up with AI. While games have long been a vehicle for pushing the boundaries of computing and creativity, not all game types take advantage of AI. Julian Togolius, I guess, associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at New York University, and director of the NYU's Game Innovation Lab, says popular games such as Doom, Quake, and Wolfenstein from the 1990s have certain designs and features that are expected of such first-person shooters, obviously, and that such games don't really benefit from using AI. If you took Doom and put some super fancy AI into those games, monsters, what difference would it make? Exactly that. But AI can make other games more interesting. Ubisoft, a large game developer and publisher, incorporated generative AI features into a prototype role-playing game in which a large language model, LLM, improvises dialogue for NPCs on the fly. And in September 2025, a startup called Overmind plans to release a wristband that will measure players' physiological responses. It will identify emotions such as excitement and stress and use AI to create personalized experiences. I think both of those are good uses. Personally, I like the sound of those. It depends on the situation. If you're just generating for the sake of generation, it's ridiculous. You've got to use it in moderation effectively. You can't
And
overuse it.
also,
Oh, God.
you can't also just generate it and then slap it in and call it a day. You need to tweak it to how you need it.
Exactly.
You get a foundation from it and then work on it, but you can't just generate a bunch of stuff, throw it in, and call it a day, a solid day's work.
Exactly. Did you hear what I said about this Overmind, guys?
No.
They planned to release a wristband that will measure players' physiological responses. It will identify emotions such as excitement and stress and use AI to create personalized experiences. Could you imagine that shit in a horror game? That would be fucking hilarious. Yeah, I can see streamers using it actually quite a lot, to be honest with you. It's a bit like
Yeah.
them streamers that use the eye tracker. Turby, I think they're
Yeah.
called. It's a bit like, oh, Jesus. Yeah, I can see this being utilized. What? Oh, right, yeah. It's a game done by someone who worked on both of them. I was like, don't tell me Assassin's Creed and Dying Light both utilize this tech. The fuck? It's interesting, though. I didn't know that existed. But I like the idea of both of those, which is one Ubisoft creating one that basically improvises dialogue for NPCs on the fly. I like that idea. And then that wristband, I think that's also a cool idea. Travelers also suggested that augmented reality gaming, wherein digital content is combined with real world content, is a good prospect for more innovative, immersive AI based gaming. Oh god. One early example is Pokemon Go, in which players use mobile phones to. I'm moving. That's as far as I could get into that. AI in gaming challenges. How about one, it been accepted by people? Two, the way it's been utilized by mainstream companies, and three, the fact that CEOs think it can replace staff. Even though the AI can make games more challenging and immersive, there are also downsides. Take personalization, for example. Games that can adapt themselves to you and produce a new, interesting world that it knows is interesting for you, to you. That's going to come, says Toros, but it can also go too far. Some people would think it's extremely creepy. I think that'd be fucking insane. Especially if you're playing with a friend and your friend's got his own version. Because I can just imagine mine and Will's world's been pretty identical, actually. The only thing I think could differ is I would have mountains upon mountains of cheese just in the center of the world.
God.
Yeah. And Will would have mountains upon mountains upon mountains of potatoes in the centre of the world. I mean, that's all I can imagine the difference would be. Some people would think it's extremely creepy. Games have also been called out over concerns about data privacy manipulation and encouraging spending within games. Oh, they've been
Yeah.
manipulating people to encourage spending within games, have they? Okay, that's a new one. I'd not heard of that. That's interesting. Furthermore, when incorporating AI and its underlying LLMs into games, developers have to think about consoles' limited memory. Most can't run an LLM locally, says Togelos, nor is it cost effective to engage the model from a remote server. The $50 to $75 people pay for a game doesn't cover the incremental cost to power the data center that would host it. But I do think LLM-based non-player characters will come. So, I wonder if this is the reason why prices are shooting up.
I mean, wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, it'd make sense though, wouldn't it? They're trying to shoot it up so that they can use more AI in their game, and then they don't have to worry about it because consoles are limited on storage. Which is probably why Call of Duty absolutely adore the PC market, because we just have stupid amounts of storage space, and some morons are willing to give it. Even though I use my storage ridiculously, I am not the person that would use it. Thank you very much. AI is forcing changes to how games are developed too, not all of which are welcome. While more than half of respondents to a survey of game industry workers said they use AI tools, others are concerned that, as in others in industries, AI could replace workers. That fear has a basis. Microsoft, one of the largest game developers, recently announced huge layoffs in its gaming division. That's all they have been doing. Generative AI can create stories, graphics, and other content by sampling the work of writers and artists, which some contend violates copyright protections. AI tools can also generate game code and perform the quality assurance testing. But him who co-founded Model AI, a company that generates AI game testing bots, maintains that QA at least is ideal for AI to handle. To an extent, once again, you don't have people like Will who are absolute. What's the nice way to refer to you, Will?
I'm not sure if there is one.
Okay. You don't have people like Will that are very Will-like. So think of one, so that's what I'm going with. They don't launch themselves into the abyss, okay? That's what I'm trying to get at. Game testing, well, it sounds like fun. You get to play games all day until you realise that you're playing the same scenario hundreds of times, trying to see if every potential sub-goal can be released under various conditions. And every time they do an update, it's a really grueling thing, and not fun at all. I don't know. I think Will would have a pretty good laughter. I mean, I know him. He would happily launch himself off the map 180 times, restart his game, and do it another 180 times.
Yep.
Just because he can.
Yep.
That's pretty much his entire philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm well aware. I've witnessed you do it. The amount of times I had to restart Arizona Sunshine 2 is insane. Because that was the only way to get him out of the map. And I turned around to him, I think 3 times, and went, "For the love of God, stop." And he just did it again. At that time, I just sat there and I went, "I'm not restarting until you promise not to do it again." He promised and did it again.
Rory did not learn.
I didn't. So at that point, I Alt F4'd and left it for about 10 minutes. Oh, my game's crashed.
Whoopsies.
So, yeah. AI in gaming, Will. What's your opinion?
If he's right, it could be fantastic, but it's not gonna be.
Yeah, I have to agree. It very much
You know
is
it,
that
I know
case.
it, everybody knows it.
Yeah, it's exactly that case. If utilized correctly, AI could be a phenomenal assistant to absolutely everything. The problem is, we know it won't. We know CEOs, we know corporate infrastructure. They don't give a fuck about the people. They care more about their profits than anything else. They don't care about the product, they care about the income. And that's all it comes down to. Which I get to an extent, but if you don't care about what you're doing, you're never going to improve those sales. You're never going to increase your income. Look at Ubisoft as a cautionary tale. That's all I can say at this point. Ubisoft and EA, two teams that were massively dominating the market for absolute years, who are now nothing more than a laughingstock to the industry.
Yeah.
And Activision Blizzard are following the same way. Honestly, if it wasn't for the consoles side of things, I don't think Sony and Xbox would really be spoken about too much either. They post a game every now and again as a publisher, but after the consoles are like finished for the year, who really cares? Oh, I've got my exclusive game from this company. Cool. Do you sit and play that game for the rest of the time on that console, or do you move on to random other games from little devs and stuff? Because I know which one I do. I feel like the massive corporate structure that was there is starting to crumble, and I think their treatment and utilization of their staff and the people under them, as well as the items under them, the projects they've got, it's just all been mishandled horrifically. And they need to do something, otherwise they're going to lose everything. And while I will sit here and laugh, I will also feel really bad for the staff. At the end
Yep.
of the day, we don't say the stuff we do because we want the staff to be impacted. We say it because the CEOs, the shareholders, and the high management that make these decisions clearly do not have the knowledge required to make effective decisions for them. But anyways, that's all I've got to say. I'm going to pass this next little section to Will. Will, feel free to rant about 7 Days to Die.
You mean the fact that the game is getting worse and worse, and yet they somehow have a fantastic review rate?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it's interesting that.
Yeah, well, I decided after talking to you about that, I am continuing my little investigation into, the people doing the purchases of the reviews and stuffs. And I'm gonna have a look. If I find anything that I think is interesting, it may be the topic for next week. So be prepared. We may get to do a lot of discussing of different games, and I think you get to have a nice little screaming match about 7 Days to Die. I don't know who you're having a screaming match with, mind you, because I'll just fucking agree with you. But yeah, that sounds like it might be the plan for next week, sir.
Sure, I can't wait.
Sounds good. Sounds very good. Anyways, before we end this here, is there anything you'd like to say, Will?
No, because I'll go on the screaming match.
You'll go on a screaming match. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's fair. Okay. With all that said and done, then, thank you all very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff, and join the Discord that's in the description. The one good thing about me not releasing last week's episode is you don't get to hear Will tear me to pieces for forgetting. But no, thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you all next time.